Szechuan beans. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my kitchen for another recipe video. I'm Derek from Simnett Nutrition, and today I'm super excited to share with you how to make these amazing Szechuan beans. So the star of the show is obviously going to be the sauce. This stuff is so good and it's really easy to make. I think you guys are going to be surprised just how packed with flavor this is and how quick and easy it is to make. And you learned a new technique on how to thicken sauces today, so I think you're going to like that. So of course, it doesn't just have to go on beans. I often have this with like a stir fry or other things as well. So get creative and definitely tag me on Instagram at Simnett Nutrition. Let me know what you put this stuff on. And of course, as usual, I'll do you guys a solid, put the recipe in the description box down below, and I'd appreciate you hitting the like button for me doing that. So let's get right on with it. Before you do anything, you want to toast some sesame seeds. So this isn't absolutely necessary for the recipe, but it is going to be a nice touch. We're going to be using 2 tablespoons for this recipe, but you might as well make a little bit more because they're really nice to have on hand. And you just want to make sure you keep moving them around so that none of them burn and they all cook evenly. And you'll notice that they all start to kind of turn this nice golden brown color at the same time. So that's when you want to take them off the heat because they will continue to cook because of the oils in them. So yeah, don't leave it to the last minute. So the first thing you want to do is to chop some garlic, some ginger, and some onion. So 2 cloves of garlic, and you want to chop this up pretty small. This is all going into the sauce, and the sauce is not going to be blended. So whatever size you cut this stuff up to is going to be in the sauce. So you want to make it small. And then you want about a thumb-sized chunk of ginger. You could also use ginger paste for this as well, but I like using fresh stuff when I can, and I don't have any ginger paste. So again, make sure you chop this really small, especially the ginger, because you don't want any huge chunks of ginger in your sauce. So yeah, maybe the ginger paste is a good idea for this, but I don't mind using the fresh stuff. Just chopping it up real small. Yeah, this sauce is so good. It's so like fresh and spicy and everything. And it's because of all these fresh ingredients. It's amazing. And it smells so good when you're cooking it. And then about 1/4 of an onion. So the onion doesn't have to be quite as small as the garlic and ginger because, I mean, it's easier to eat, bigger chunks of onion than ginger and garlic, but still want to make it all pretty uniform. And then I almost forgot this. You want to add about 1/4 to 1/3 or so of a red bell pepper. So the reason I like to add this is definitely add some good flavor to it, but you can see when the sauce is done, everything is kind of like suspended in it, and it just like looks so beautiful with all the different colors and everything. So that's kind of why I'm putting it in there. And then you just want to take all this stuff and put it into a preheated frying pan. So if you want, you can go ahead and just add a tiny bit of this toasted sesame oil. It's going to give it so much flavor. It's so good, this stuff, but you don't need much. Yeah, you don't need that much. That's okay though. And while this is sauteing, I like to add a tablespoon of the toasted sesame seeds. And then about 1/2 teaspoon or so of black pepper. So feel free to add more if you want, because black pepper is one of the more prominent flavors in Szechuan sauce. So yeah, don't be too shy with it. All right, so next we have to add some liquid to the sauce because otherwise it's just gonna be a stir fry. So around 3/4 of a cup of water. And then 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. So I don't think traditionally they use maple syrup. I know they use sugar in this, but we're in Canada here and got lots of maple syrup, so that's what I'm using. And 2 teaspoons of Bragg's soy seasoning. So of course you could use soy sauce or tamari instead of this. All right, give that a quick stir. So then you want to just dump that liquid into the frying pan with everything and wait for it to start boiling. And while you're waiting for it to start to boil, you want to get together some cornstarch and water. This is what we're going to use to thicken it. So I'm sure you guys know, but cornstarch is a great thickener for sauces like this. But the thing is, you got to get the stuff to a boil, and then you got to add cold water and cornstarch in order for it to work the best. So just a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 tablespoon. Actually, I did just over like 1.125 tablespoons of cold water, and then about the same amount of cornstarch. So then you just want to mix it, and it does mix really easily, but it also separates really quickly. So right after you mix it, right into the pan, as long as it's boiling. So you just want to add a little bit at a time, just pour and mix, and you'll notice that it starts to thicken up. I promise. You guys are gonna be like, Derek, you lied to me, this isn't thickening, but it happens all of a sudden and you will see. It only takes a few seconds. And then you'll see, just like magic, it starts to thicken up, and then when it does, it's pretty much done. So look at that, turned out so well, and it's nice and thick, so you can see here. And if you taste it now, it's gonna be good, but you'll notice that it's missing something. And that one thing is some tang. So we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar. I'm gonna just stir that in. So you could probably cook it with the vinegar in there, but I do find when you cook, vinegar kinda gets rid of a little bit of that tanginess. So now it's time to cook the beans. But first, I just wanna taste the sauce to make sure that it's all good. You guys know I always recommend that before dumping it on your food because you don't wanna ruin the whole thing, but I'm sure this is gonna be amazing, especially if you followed the recipe exactly. Oh yeah. Oh. Man, this tastes like something you would get like at a restaurant. Wow. Oh, all right, let's cook these beans. So the beans really couldn't be any easier. So for the best finished product, you want to take off all the stems from the beans. So a lot of these have already been taken off and trimmed, but I'm just gonna kind of collect them all, and that's just so you don't have to cut them all individually. So just toss those beans in a preheated frying pan, and then I just kind of like to do a quick steam saute. So just a little bit of water, shake it around, and then put a lid on. So it really doesn't take very long to cook the beans, maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes or so when they're covered. Just check on them every few minutes and give them a stir so the ones on the bottom don't burn. And then once the beans are pretty much cooked, just go ahead and add the sauce. And then I just saute it like this for a few more minutes, just till everything's kind of nice and combined well and everything's hot. It smells so good, it's crazy. So I'm sure you guys know this trick, but it's a little tip that I learned a long time ago, is to clean up the bowl for pictures and video, because it looks a lot neater this way. And then I just like to finish it off with a little sprinkle of the toasted sesame seeds. Dang. All right, so time for my favorite part of the video, the taste test. And man, if you guys could just smell it in here, it's absolutely unreal. Mmm. Yeah. Mmm. All right, let me just have another bite while I formulate my opinion here. Mmm. Wow. So yeah, the first flavors that definitely hit you are like the ginger and the toasted sesame, and then like the tang from the vinegar, as well as like some of the sweetness from the maple syrup. And wow, it just all goes together so well. It's so well balanced, and I really, like I said, I think you guys are really gonna like this one. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of this recipe in the description box down below, and what you think of these sort of like shorter recipe videos as well. You know, I like to do lots of recipes on the channel, but often I kind of like work them into my full day of eatings, and they kind of get lost in there. So I think doing these one-off recipes is pretty cool. So of course this is good just as is, but one way that I like to turn this into a meal is to have this with some rice, and then also some sweet chili tofu on the side. And if you guys watch the channel, you'll know that I already uploaded a video on how to make this amazing tofu, but if you missed it, I will put it in the description box down below. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this is just my take on the Szechuan sauce and beans. Of course, I'm not claiming like it's authentic or anything like that, so I don't want to offend anyone, but I think it is pretty good, and like I said, I really think you're gonna enjoy it. So hit the like button for me, subscribe so you can see more, and I will see you guys soon in another video. Peace. Ow, 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 ow. Hello.